Okay, hello everyone. In this video, I am going to briefly talk about and analyze an ancient Greek's monologue from the ancient Greek's play Antigone. This monologue is from the character Ismene in the play Antigone, who is the younger sister of Antigone. So in this video, I am going to analyze the monologue, watching my performing video together with you and trying to help you to grasp how to analyze like those long and ancient monologues and how to have a better sense of their emotional development. So let's begin first by watching a performance video of mine. So in my high school, my teacher made this as the assignment for us to do. We have to record several tapes of this monologue, and finally we have to present a final version as like the assignment for like the exam of a term. Mm, I think through this process I learned a lot, and I want to share with you guys. So first, let's look at the monologue, my performance of the monologue. It is not like the best, but I feel like maybe there are some good ways of it. It is actually quite good if you can learn from some of it. Okay. Okay. It's only about like 3 minutes, so it's pretty short. Sister, our father's faith, apart, dishonor, self-confessed sin, blinded, himself his own executioner. Think of his mother wife. Oh, who sort of names? Tampere knows herself. Torn. Left. Poor helpless brother. Confronted. A mutual destiny. Self-slaughtered. Lost the slayer. Slayer. We think this system. We are left alone. Shall we not purge the riches of all? If in defiance of the law, we cross the monarch's well? Think of that, we women. Free by nature, to content with men. Tis true that the stronger rules. We must obey his orders. His orders. Therefore, I shall plead compulsion and entreat the dead to pardon. This foolishness that we overstepped ought to go on. Okay, so that's all actually. And so now we're going to switch to another screen in which I will analyze the script itself. Okay, can you guys see it? Okay, so this is a very brief, like, if you can see it, this is a very brief, this is the version of the words of the Antigone monologue, Ismene's monologue. So this monologue actually is not that long compared with the Shakespeare one, but it's still quite a long one. So how do we first proceed with this monologue? First, for me, I think for any play, understanding the context is very, very important. Although I think most of the teachers don't ask you to do so or ask you not to do so. For me, before I start to work on this monologue, I have a sense of the story. I know it before, but I did not look it intentionally. So now I am going to briefly tell you the background story. So Antigone, this play, it's the second part. It's the successive play of the very, very famous play the Oedipus Rex. So in Oedipus Rex, I think most people know the story, the plot. It's pretty a complicated plot that. So briefly, I will summarize for you right here. So Oedipus Rex, he born, and there is a prophecy saying that he will kill his father and marry his mother. So he's always trying to avoid that destiny. So first, his like born mother, his and father is very afraid of that prophecy. So they just like throw him away. However, like her fate is pretty good that some good men just met her and think, oh my god, this is such a like a pitiful child, and maybe I can raise him somewhere. So this man give Oedipus to another man. Another man gave the child to a king of the kingdom, just right, like near his original kingdom. So Oedipus just automatically becomes the son of the king and the queen of that kingdom. So Oedipus grows up and he heard that there is another like saying that he's not the born child of the king and the queen. And then he heard again for his like the old prophecy of being killing his father and marry his mother. So he was just totally upset about it and very afraid of this prophecy to come true. So he just leave his mother and father and go to the country which is his born country. However, at there, like on the road to that country, killed Oedipus kills his own father, his original father, without knowing it. And this country without the king, because the king's been killed by him, but he does not know that he killed the king. He just come to like the very famous play which is the mystery of Sphinx. He has to answer questions, and if he answered right, he will be the king of the kingdom, because in that way, fifth Sphinx, this mysterious like monster, will not eat the people in that kingdom. Using his wisdom, he answered it right. So he just becomes the king of this kingdom and marry his mother, but without knowing it. So Antigone, what is the relation with it? Antigone is the daughter of Oedipus Rex. Ismene is also the second daughter of the Oedipus Rex. So they are sisters. In this play, Oedipus already discovered that his true identity, and his like mother wife, as it said here, had twined herself to death, and Oedipus already like poked his eye out. And that's pretty painful. And both, as we can also get the information from here, the two brothers of Ismene also die like killing each other. It's really a huge tragedy, and so it's pretty painful. After we knowing this background story, some of the information might not be accurate, so you have to look it up if you want to. We can have a really better grasp of this monologue. At least we can understand the urgency of it, because this is a very urgency like part of the play. So what is Ismene doing here? In the story, Ismene is pleading her sister Antigone not to cross the monarch's well, which is to bury her brother. And brothers, because like the new king just literally say that nobody can do this, and if somebody crossed this law of burying the two brothers, they will die. So the scenario is Ismene is the only, literally the only person in her family now. She is the only person, and Antigone is another one. She's going to die if she do that. So Ismene is just desperately trying to stop her sister, because after like really seeing all of her like all of her family member like either poking their eyes out or killing, it's really been a very tragic and very traumatic experience. So this is the urgency of this part of the monologue. So I divide this monologue into three parts, like three emotional stages, and I will guide you guys through this. So as I mark it here as the yellow part of the monologue, I more view this part as a emotional stage. So think about it. If you are arguing with somebody, maybe in your family, just you're arguing with anybody. Yeah. Oh my god, I can't. And how are you going to win the argument? How are you going to let the other be persuaded? Okay, so as we all know in school, there's a thing called pathos. Yeah. So maybe you are going to appeal to emotions. So I think the first thing Ismene does here is to do the pathos, the appeal to emotion. So I will read this part and you can have a better grasp of what it's saying and why this is actually a pathos part. Okay. Bethink thee, sister, of our father's fate, abhorred, dishonored, self-convinced of sin, blunted, himself his own executioner. Think of his mother wife. Oh, you saw the names. Down by her noose herself and twined to death. Last, our hapless brethren in one day, both in the mutual destiny involved, self-smothered, both the slayer and the slain. Okay, so this is this part of the play, you can guess. And so I think you can have a very good grasp of why this is the pathos part. She invokes like all of the story about like either her father, her mother, or their brothers. So imagine yourself if you are Ismene and your brothers and mother and father just die and or do some very painful thing to themselves. What is your reaction of just talking about it again? I think most people wouldn't like to talk about them anymore. But she's here trying to persuade her sister, trying to like remind herself and recall those like painful memory, which just happened like not maybe a few days ago, not very long. Those like images still vivid in your head. Your mother twined to death and your father poked out of all of his eyes. Those images are still vividly in your head, and every time you think about like saying this, our father's fate, or our mother is telling you that, those images so vividly in your head, and you can just feel it like you're back again. It just happened like yesterday. So those are a traumatic experience. So think about it. What is your emotion when you are trying to do this? Are you gonna be like monotone? No, I don't think so. It's the most vulnerable thing for a person to like invoke their back emotions when they don't want to actually talk about it anymore, because every time of like recall it, it's too painful and too traumatic. So you can say this is the pathos part. This is the pathos part of the play, of the monologue of persuading her sister Antigone to not doing the act. And this blue part is another emotional stage. After like, so I will perform it and we will analyze it together. Vicente, sister, we are left alone. Shall we not perish the riches of all? If in defiance of the law, we cross the monarch's well? Weak woman, think of that! Not framed by nature to contend with men. Remember this too, the stronger rules. We must obey his orders. These are worse. Okay, so this is the part which I will call it like not really a mixture of pathos and ethos. Yeah, because there's emotional part about like we are left alone. Like after seeing all of the painful things about their family members, she's trying to like talk directly to her sister. Oh, please consider this because we are we are left alone. I don't have anyone. Please cherish yourself. Don't do that stupid thing. And then why I say there's ethos, because she's literally saying like, are you crazy? You're going to like disobey a monarch's will, cross the law? Weak woman, you're just a weak woman. You're nothing in society. You're nothingness compared to men. You don't have the ability to contend with them. The only one solution for you is death. Are you going to do that? You're crazy. There's no way we can compete and we can resist this. Yeah, and she's saying, "Oh, always remember that stronger rules." So she's trying to reason with her sister, like, "Okay, I see that pathos, like emotion, does not move you, but here I am trying to saying, like, I'm trying to reason with you. This is not a reasonable act." So I see this as a mixture of pathos and ethos. After seeing pathos does not work, Ismene just switched to another mode of persuasion, which is ethos, the reason with her sister. So for this part, I chose to be my emotion more like maybe anger. Maybe anger, saying like, "Wait, woman, you're crazy. Just don't do this." More of anger than maybe like pain, but painful anger, I should say this more accurately. And this is the last part, which I mark it as pink. I will perform it and we'll analyze it together. Therefore, I shall plead compulsion and entreat the dead to pardon. I perforce obey the powers that be. This foolishness I ween to overstepped in aught the golden mean. Okay, so this is the last part of the monologue, which I think I approach it more with desperation, if you can like hear it, because eventually the outcome is that Ismene does not move Antigone, so she's still going to continue. So if if you are really acting with another person, not really a monologue facing a computer, you can see that your sister Antigone, she does not move at all. She's still determined. She's still going to continue the thing she's ever to do. So here is more like desperation almost. Ismene knows that she's not going to change anything at this point, but she's still going to stay as a sister, as like a person who love her sister. But most importantly, I think the part, therefore, I plead compulsion and entreat that the part of is very important. Mostly, I think because this part, very interestingly, more of it's like not speaking directly to her sister almost. I interpret it more of like appealing to the god, because ancient Greeks believe a lot about like gods and all of the like, if you do bad things, like karma, almost you're going to like punished by the gods. And actually burying like brothers, it's honorable and dutiful thing to do in the ancient time. It is supposed to do that, but the king forbid it. So she does not want to do this. Actually, it's a bad thing. It's not a good thing for a sister as a daughter. So here is she's almost saying to the gods like, oh, please don't blame me this. I'm really sorry I can't fulfill my duty, but I really want to. It is not that I don't want to do this. It is because I don't have any option. So I interpret it like I do it by kneeling down, like appealing to the god by raising my hand like this, because I feel like, and this is the way the ancient Greeks believe they can communicate with God. Gods are listening and watching them. So this part, I interpret more of like speaking to the god directly and apologizing for herself. Ismene's apologizing for herself's action of not able to fulfill her duty as a sister. So this is all, and I'm sorry for my dog is barking. Yeah, somebody's coming, and I hope you get a lot from this video. And in the future, if I have other monologue homework assignment, I will also like do this. So okay, thank you.